I'm Laura. I have worked in digital for, I think, as long as you can work in digital for, about 15 years. And so most of that time I've been working in social media. So I have some tips on how to sort of boost your social media presence and supercharge your business. Sorry about the pun. So in today's session, we'll talk about some of the simple marketing tools that you can use to boost your electrical business from social media. Like I said, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to hand you over to Fizz, who's going to tell you a bit more about how you can promote your business on Google. So the best thing about this is a lot of these things are free and really easy to do. So hopefully we'll give you some ideas that you can go home and put into place straight away. So quite simply, why does digital marketing matter? Well, if your business doesn't exist online, people might not even believe that your business exists at all. And it's really important that you make the most of this tool. I always think of social media as being your shop window, basically. Like, if people wanted to know what you were about and understand who you were, they're likely to look you up on your website or on your social channels, and that's really the best place to project what's amazing about you, what's great about you, and what people need to know. And actually, 82% of homeowners search online before contacting a tradesperson, which is obviously a huge amount of people, and really vindicates why it's important that you have a digital presence. It's also a really powerful word-of-mouth tool in terms of community building, which I'm going to go into a little bit. Social media is really powerful, and I don't think I need to tell you this because I'm sure you've all used social media channels, but these two are taken from Instagram, and they sort of show you the kind of numbers that you can get. So, for example, She's Electric. I looked at her a couple of years ago, and she had about 4,000 followers, and now she's got 92,000. So it's pretty powerful for making reach beyond even your local area. It's a very cost-effective way of promoting yourself because it's effectively free. Obviously, you can put paid behind it if that's something you want to do, but it's quite straightforward. It's really important to be consistent in what you share, which is what I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. And again, homeowners always look at social channels before they hire people. If you've got a presence on there, they'll want to know that it's positive and that you're trustworthy and reliable. And also probably regularly updating. If you haven't updated your social profile for about 2 years, there's going to sort of ring alarm bells a little bit. I just, as a sort of straw poll, I guess, have any of you ever had leads for work come from your social channels? I'm seeing some nods, maybe. It's actually quite interesting to keep track of that and see how that works. And if you implement some of these ideas, how that sort of, if that improves or if the number goes up. So building your brand sounds a bit grand and a bit like something that multinational companies do, but it's actually really important, and it's all about really your reputation. So what are people saying about you, and what are people saying about your brand when you're not in the room? Obviously, you want this to be as positive as possible and as trustworthy and authentic as possible as well. And there's some quite easy ways to start building that. Making use of your NICEIC logos and certification is really important. So whether that's on your social channels or on your website, could be really key. Making sure that your profile pictures and cover photos are clear, current, and consistent. I think this is really important to drive home. I'm going to use the word consistently. But because if you've got one profile picture on Instagram and a different one on LinkedIn or a different one on Facebook, for example, people might think they're all different companies. It seems obvious, but a lot of people fall for this and don't keep them up to date. And if you've updated your logo, make sure you're updating your logo in all places. Also, writing a really clear about section is really important, and making sure that it's up to date. If you haven't looked at your about section on any of your social channels or your website for a while, it might be worth going back and having a check, because these things can go out of date and nobody really notices for a while, but it's really, really powerful. So making sure you're saying clearly what you do, where you do it, the locations that you're based, and why, that's important. And I say this a lot, but you need to have a plan. having a plan about what you're going to post will make it so much more manageable, rather than just thinking on the day, oh, I haven't put anything on Instagram for 2 months, I better quickly put something up. If you've got actually kind of more of a structure and slightly more of a strategy about it, it will come a lot more easily. And once it becomes part of your sort of day-to-day working, it becomes much more natural to do.